Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IS English. In our today's video, we'll try to understand why is Gir National Park in news currently, and the reason why we have picked up this article for our today's discussion is because in Gujarat's Gir National Park, as many as 8 lions, including the cubs, have died due to a suspected Babesiosis infection which is caused by a parasite. Now, experts have claimed that this particular instance of infestation is not a cause of worry. Why? Because the State Forest Department has isolated lions residing within the 10 square kilometers of affected area as a preventive measure, and the affected lions are also being given the treatment. But this brings our attention to the concentration of the population of Asiatic lions in particular in and around the regions of Gir National Park. So in our today's discussion, we'll first understand few facts and figures relating to the Gir National Park, and then we'll try to understand its flagship species, that are Asiatic lions. So in what cases have their population multiplied and what are the risks associated with the concentrated population of Asiatic lion. Now the notes which I will be using for our today's session, you can also download them by going to a particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live, and while you're at it, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, so let us start by understanding few facts and figures relating to the Gir National Park. Gir National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary, also popularly called as Sasan Gir, it is a protected area located in the state of Gujarat. Which area of Gujarat? In the districts of Junagadh, Gir Somnath as well as Amreli district, and it was established as a national park back in 1965, and it has an area of very close to 259 square kilometers. The total area of Gir National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary is about 1410 square kilometers of area, amongst which 259 square kilometers worth of area is for national park, and the rest 1151 square kilometers of area is designated to the wildlife sanctuary, right? So this is the geographical details about the Gir National Park. What you need to understand, the history of Gir National Park, why it was designated as a protected area. Now you need to understand, back in 19th century, the princely state rulers, in order to attract the colonialists, they used to invite them for hunting expeditions, and as a result, because of indiscriminate hunting of the lions in India by these colonialists, by the end of 19th century, only about dozens of Asiatic lions were left in India, and this brought attention to the government of independent area that if we do not protect and conserve the species, it invariably will go extinct from the India itself. And you need to understand that presently where Gir National Park is located now, it once was the private forest of the Nawab of Junagadh. Now Gir National Park, as far as the population of Asiatic lions are concerned, are very important. You need to understand that Gir National Park is the only place in the world outside Africa where you will find lions roaming around in the wild, and more importantly, it is the only place in Asia where you would find the population of Asiatic lions. So this is the significance of Gir National Park from the perspective of lions. Now before we understand how are the species of Asiatic lions, we need to understand few more facts and figures relating to the Gir National Park. In that area, let us try to understand what are the tribes which inhabit the regions where Gir National Park is located. Primarily, there are 2 tribes located in Gir National Park. One of them is Maldhari and another one is Siddhi. Now the term Maldhari, it translates into keeper of the animal stock, and these Maldhari tribes are nomadic pastoral communities who are predominantly involved in breeding of the cattle, and they rely heavily on the forest in order to get their livelihood. Now these communities, they are known as one of the oldest inhabitants of the Gir, and they possess a deep understanding of the forest ecosystem. So conserving not just the Asiatic lions but even these Maldhari tribes are very essential if you have to maintain the ecosystem of the Gir National Park. In addition to these Maldhari tribes are the Siddhi tribes. Siddhi tribes are ethnically tribes which belong to African descent, and by their ancestors they moved to India, especially from the East African region. But you need to understand the Siddhi tribes located in India, they have assimilated into the local culture, and their culture is basically a representation of a vibrant blend of both Indian and East African culture. What you need to understand, these communities are well known for their rich musical traditions, which basically involves rhythmic trance-like dance performances, primarily known as dhamal dance. Now, this kind of a dance performance is accompanied by traditional drums as well as flutes. So, these are the true tribes which primarily inhabit the Gir National Park region. Now, let us try to understand what are the water bodies that flow through it. This Gir National Park is irrigated by 7 major perennial rivers. These are Hiran, Shethrunji, Dharatwadi, Shingoda, Manchudri, Machhundri, Ambajal and Ravar rivers. Now, these 7 rivers also try to fill 4 reservoirs. The biggest among them is the Kamleshwar Dam. Kamleshwar Dam is popularly known as the lifeline of Gir. Now, once we have covered few facts and figures relating to the national park, it is also important for us to understand what is the region's flora and fauna like. First, let us talk about the flora. Now, this Gir National Forest, it is located in the dry deciduous forest ecoregion of the broader Kathiawar Peninsula. Now, this area is dominated by trees like teak, which constitute nearly half of the total area. So, this is the most dominating species of trees found there. In addition to teak, you need to understand several other plants which are also found in the other dry deciduous forest ecosystems are also present there. For example, acacia trees, ber, jamun, tendu, thak, bawul trees, etc. So, these are the trees which require less water, and that is why they are found in the tropical dry deciduous region. In addition to that, there are many other trees like karanj, umlo, amli as well as banyan tree which provide cool shade to the Gir National Park as well as provide moisture content, because these are basically broad-leaved trees. You need to understand broad-leaved trees are majorly found in those regions which are water deficient, and broad-leaved trees are able to conserve large amount of moisture without having to dependent on external sources of water. Similarly, in the coastal borders of the Gir National Park, many plantation drives have been introduced in order to plant Babesiosis as well as Casuarina kind of a plants in the region. So, these was flora of the region. Now, let us talk about the fauna, or basically the animals which are found in the region. Primarily, these animals are divided into carnivorous and herbivorous. In carnivorous species, obviously Asiatic lions are there, the flagship species of Gir National Park. In addition to that, Indian leopards, golden jackals, Bengal fox, as well as Asiatic wildcats and rusty spotted cats, which are also present, although they are barely seen in the region. In addition to these carnivorous animals, there are many herbivorous animals also, which essentially provide fodder for these carnivorous animals. These are cheetal, nilgai, sambar, four-horned antelope, chinkara, and even black bucks, although not natively found in this wildlife sanctuary or the national park, they are entering into the area from the neighboring regions, right? Now, this brings my attention to the flagship species of the region, that is Asiatic lions. So, what are Asiatic lions? How much is their population in India, where they are located, what are their basic characteristics, which we understand from our perspective of covering HHPs of a particular species. We'll do exactly that for Asiatic lions also. First, let us understand what are these Asiatic lions. These are basically also called as Persian lions or Indian lions. These are the lions which are specially found in the Indian subcontinent, and their biological name is Panthera leopersica. Now, in India, they are exclusively found in one region only, that is in and around the Gir National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary. What you need to understand, once they were widespread across West Asia as well as Middle Eastern region, but now due to indiscriminate hunting, India is the last refuge of this subspecies of lions. So, what are the other species of lions? Let us understand this. But in order to understand this, we need to understand what are the difference between African as well as Asiatic lions. Asiatic lions are the lions which are found in area. So, what are the physiological differences between these two species? Let us understand this from the perspective of a comparative analysis. On my right are the Asiatic lions, and on my left are the African lions. First, you need to understand what is the difference between them. In terms of size, the Asiatic lions are slightly smaller, and on the other hand, the African lions are generally larger. Now, let us talk about their appearances. Mane, which is the flurry of hair which is present around their head, that also marks a big differentiation between these two species. The mane or the hair present around the Asiatic lions, it is generally shorter and less developed as compared to the African lions, who have a fuller and more denser mane. Similarly, in terms of social behavior also, you find the difference. Males in Asiatic lions, they generally stay with the pride of the animals. Pride is basically the group of lions, and the African lions, the males leave the pride unless they want to indulge in mating or they want to kill other lion species. So in terms of social behavior also, they are more social as compared to them. Now, what about their habitat species? The habitat of Asiatic lions, they are generally found in the dry deciduous forest, and in terms of geography, they are located in India only. As far as African lions are concerned, they are found in savannas, which are basically grasslands, shrublands, as well as desert regions. Now, in terms of geographical distribution, Asiatic lions are found only in one place in the world, that is exclusive to the Saurashtra Peninsula, that is the Gir region of Gujarat. Whereas the African lions are far more geographically widespread. They are found in the entire sub-Saharan African region. Now, what about the IUCN status? Here there is no difference. Both of them are vulnerable species, but the difference actually appears in the CITES listing. In CITES listing, Asiatic lions are more protected as compared to the African lions, whereas as far as their protection in India is concerned, as African lions are not found in India, but Asiatic lions are found. That is why they have the highest protection status as per the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So these are the physiological difference between Asiatic as well as African lion. What is present in India? African lion. Clear? Now let us try to understand few facts and figures relating to the population of Asiatic lions. Now, according to the latest census which happened in last year, India's wild population of Asiatic lions have risen over 32% in the past 5 years. That India currently has presence of 891 lions. I'm not accounting for the recent deaths. This was what was found last year in the census. Now we need to understand not just in the past 5 years, but overall the population of lions in the past 3 decades or so have increased, and this is because of favorable geographic and climatic conditions in India, in addition to the efforts made by the Gujarat's forest department. But you need to understand, because of this sustained conservation and adequate geographical conditions, the protection status of lions have improved. Earlier they were categorized as critically endangered, then they were moved to endangered, and latest they are classified as vulnerable species as per the IUCN Red List. Now, what about the population of the Asiatic lions in India? If you take a closer look at the numbers of Asiatic lions population in India, which by the way have increased by large amount, you'll look at a discrimination or a discrepancy. This discrepancy that I'm talking about, it is with respect to the population growth and the growth in the range of these lions. So you'll see here that the range of these lions have actually outgrown the population growth of these species. So I'll tell you the facts behind it. So the lion's range in the past 4 decades, it has expanded by 430%. But on the other hand, the jump in numbers is only about 2 times, that is about 214%. Now there is a very specific reason behind it, because you need to understand geographically the lions in India are located only where? In the Saurashtra Peninsula, and this Saurashtra Peninsula, by the virtue of its terrain, has very few numbers of protected areas. So as a result, the Asiatic lions are concentrated in and around the Gir National Park regions, which include Gir National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary and other smaller sanctuaries like Panya, Girnar, Mithyala, etc. So it gives lions very less space to flourish, and as a result, the government was intending to relocate some of the lions to the neighboring Kuno National Park, which is located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. You may have heard of Kuno National Park before also. This is the place where first cheetahs were reintroduced in India after they were brought from Africa. Yes, that national park itself. Now, what you have to understand that over decades, these sanctuaries, which are located in the Saurashtra Peninsula, which host the populations of Asiatic lions, have neared their carrying capacity. So that is why lions have no other option but to wander outside these protected areas in order to hunt for these species. And as a result, there is a possibility that these lions might come into conflict with humans living in the populated areas. So as a result, these lions have reached wastelands, farmlands, agri plantations, and they have even reached clumps of vegetations. What you have to understand, only 56% of lions who are present in Gujarat, they are found in forested areas. But you need to understand the population of Gujarat, human population, are generally more tolerant of the lion species, because lions are called as Gujarat's pride. Now, because of this tolerant attitude of humans towards lions, we have seen not many instances of man and animal conflict with respect to humans as well as lions. But you need to understand, concentrating a particular population of a rare species like lions in a one area might risk their existence, because what if this particular instance of the parasitic virus that we are dealing with, it is not a cause of concern, but what if tomorrow there is some other disease that might affect lions? So if we keep all eggs in one basket, there is a possibility that all these eggs might perish away, right? So there is a very big chance, and there is a very good initiative of the government that they need to relocate some of these lions away from Saurashtra Peninsula into other protected areas, like they have considered back in 2017 to move some of them to the Kuno National Park, right? So this is what we were here to discuss. Now, before we move on to a question, two questions in particular that have been appeared in the UPSC exam before, there is a very important announcement. The topic that we just dealt with is very important from your prelims perspective. Now, these kind of articles usually appear in the newspaper, so we only have some time available where we can discuss only some of these developments in the YouTube channel. But to cover all the species that were in news throughout the year and all the important protected areas from the exams perspective, do not forget to take admissions in our P2I foundation courses. In our P2I foundation courses, just like we did for this particular topic, each and every comprehensive coverage is provided for all the subjects of UPSC, and this is done in a very smart manner. Why am I using the word smart? Because the word smart actually stands for structured classes, mentorship, assessment, revision and test. So you are going to provided with all of this if you take admissions to the P2I foundation batches. These batches are available for both the year 2027 and 2028. A new batch is going to start few days from now, that is 6th of June. So do not delay, take the admission as soon as possible and be on the right track in order to fulfill your dreams, that is the clearing of UPSC exam. Before making the payment, if you use this code ATS Live, you are going to get maximum discounts on all the courses. So please do not forget to do that. There's also a number which we provide, 76400300. Give us a call on that number if you need any guidance or any sort of a help. Okay. Now, before we end up our today's discussion, there are two questions that have appeared in previous prelims relating to the lions population. Recently, there was a proposal to translocate some of the lions from their natural habitat in Gujarat to which of the following sites? This is one question I'd want you to solve, and this is the another question that I'd want you to solve. Asiatic lions are naturally found in India only, and there are three statements, basically one relating to Asiatic lion, double-humped camels and one-horned rhinoceros. So please do let me know the correct answers to both of these questions in the comment section, and the ones who get it right would get a thumbs up from my side. And before ending our today's discussion, this is where you'd find the notes. The Telegram channel's name is called as ATS Live. So this is all from my side for today. Please have a very good day. We'll see each other again tomorrow.